In today's video, I really wanted to talk about burnout specifically. Is one of the basically the season that so many people, so many women of my circle, coaching circle, are going through, has been going through for a very long time. And I wanted to make a video on this specifically to really like share my wisdom on this because I experienced even burnout myself when I was working previously, in the corporate world. And through my spiritual awakening process, I managed so well, I believe, to really like, first of all, understand burnout and the consequences of burnout and what it means, basically. So I wanted to really make this really concise presentation on burnout that I hope, if you are going through that, or if you've been through that, or if you think you are going through that, this video will help you. And this is a series video. So this is just the first part based on this topic, burnout. I will make a second or maybe a third also video based on the same topic, because there's quite a lot to talk about on this topic. And also, I really want to share my giveaways and share my not my giveaways, but share my tips and tricks and my wisdom on how basically you can definitely fight burnout as daughter of the Most High, and how what kind of in what state of consciousness you should be to fight burnout. So let's start this video to really give you kind of an overview of what is burnout, and later on in baby video 2, video 3, I will probably go more in depth in regards to how we can combat burnout when we are high achievers women in a corporate world or in our business. So today we are going to shift the way you see burnout a little bit. I think burnout is such a broad word, and we can see burnout throughout social media, not only on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Many people talk about burnout, but I really want to share my wisdom in regards to what is burnout and what has been burnout for me throughout this series. So, most high achieving women think that burnout means that they are failing, right? That there is something that they're supposed to do, but they don't do it because they are, burnout completely physically. But I truly believe that burnout spiritually means that it's actually a divine invitation from God, a whisper from God saying, daughter, you are carrying things that never assign you to carry. Okay. You were never assigned to carry so much. All right. And today I really want to explore burnout not as a weakness, but as a spiritual message calling you back into alignment, to identity and to purpose. And I experienced that myself when I was in this corporate job. And it's not actually like in just one job. I think I really experienced burnout throughout many professional experiences, because also at the time, I was also, basically wearing many hats as a single mom, as a manager in a very busy industry that I really loved. I love what I used to do, but it was required so much of my time. And when we switch, it's very difficult because you give your 100% at your job, and you also have to give your 100% as a mom and also to yourself. And even also, I was running a business coaching at the time. So even in my business, so it was it was a lot. So I had to basically like just cut everything out and start over. And I share that in my journey in regards to how basically this spiritual journey since 2023 really helped me to reconnect not only to the creator who is God, but also to myself and to find purpose and my assignment. So let's dive in. So burnout goes far beyond being tired most women describe burnout in a physical term, so the physical way. And this is usually what I see on social media, that, okay, burnout is because you are exhausted, because you need a break, because you can't give yourself anymore. Like you truly like, you are feeling kind of empty within. And I'm here to tell you that for me, burnout, and this is the wisdom that the Lord God has given me, burnout has four layers that I'm going to break down with you in this video. So, first of all, burnout is can be physical, right? Usually the symptoms of burnout is fatigue, insomnia, tension, body aches, like it's truly like you can feel it. You have usually like many headaches. Your body is not functioning like it used to function before. You really like experience like fatigue, like very serious fatigue. And yes, you feel weak somehow. It can also be emotional burnout. So it could be irritability, of being overwhelmed, numbness, emotional shutdown. And the cause of it usually is to when you give emotionally without boundaries or support, right? There is always a cause and an effect, in everything. And when we actually like experience burnout, there is always a cause and an effect. And the effect of burnout is, like I say, physically is fatigue, insomnia, tension, and body aches. But it can be the cause, I think, when it comes to physical burnout is constant output without, replenishing ourselves. There is no replenishment whatsoever. And that's why we actually experience fatigue, insomnia, tension, aches. And it's just painful. And emotionally, I would say, like, when we do not actually put any boundaries, either in our like friendship environment, with our family, with our partner, at work, we are experiencing burnout. We feel irritated, overwhelmed, we feel shut down because there is no support, there is no boundaries that we actually put in place. So that is first the kind of burnout that someone can experience, right? And we also have mental burnout. So burnout is basically like when you really feel like you're overthinking, like everything is like you need to overthink everything. You have brain fog, you have difficulty to focus, you are just so distracted, you are moving from one thing to another, you can't concentrate on anything. And that also is, a kind of burnout that so many women can actually like experience, who are experiencing right now. And the cause is like sometimes is like we don't realize that we carry too much mentally. Like I was mentioning earlier, I was giving 100% at work of myself, and I was also giving 100%, at home, and also into my business. So I carry so many responsibilities. I had to make sure everything was okay in regards to school, in regards to, dinner time, in regards to the making sure that the house remained clean and tidy. I also have to make sure that, I show up okay, I'm delivering my project at work, and I also have to make sure I make myself available for my clients in my business when I was a coach, a marketing coach. And it was kind of a lot. It was a lot. That's why, I completely shut down. I was like, there is no way I can carry on. And also, I was emotionally, like dealing with, so many things from my previous, past relationship that truly like broke me down. So I was trying also to recover from this experience through work, to basically focus on something else, and also to kind of escape from this emotional, I would say, state that I was. And that didn't actually help for me to focus only on work because I overloaded myself so much. But the final burnout, and this is the one I really want to focus on, is actually the spiritual burnout. And I think we don't really talk about spiritual burnout. And spiritual burnout can be feeling disconnected from God, like being purposeless, actually experiencing purposelessness, an emptiness, going through a dry season when you don't really feel like, what, you feel like you are feeling alone. Or even if you go to church, or if you go and read your Bible and you go to a Bible study, there's still something missing. There is a void, basically, that you are experiencing, within. And you can't really pinpoint what is this void. And this is truly what happened for me in 2023 before I started to, I will say 2022, because 2023, earlier 2023, this is when I started my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening journey, that I'm so grateful that I experienced myself. But prior that, I was like truly feeling like there's something missing. Like, yes, I love what I'm doing at my work. I love, being a business coach. I love, like my life, in a sense, like for me, like outside, I think people will see like I was very successful. I had a great job, I had a great company, a very well-known company, a tech company, that I always wanted to work for, a great salary. The job was perfect for me. I was working mostly from home. So everything was like tick, 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 tick. But I was like experiencing something within. There is a miss. There is like a void that I couldn't really like. And this is what I'm talking about spiritual, burnout. Like you feel disconnected from God. You can probably have this kind of like faith, but it's for me, at least it was not enough. And this is what I really want to talk about in this presentation. So burnout is more than being tired. It's truly a misalignment of spirit, soul, and body. A sign that something deeper needs attention. Okay. And this is what I'm saying, like, this is the void. And most of the time, we try to fulfill this void or kind of like camouflage this void with other things. Like it could be like, no, you know what, I think I need to travel somewhere, or maybe I need a pay rise, or maybe I need another partner, or I need to go out more, or I need, something external, you know. But nothing that comes from the external world can actually give you what God can give you, because God is within you. So nothing can match the fulfillment that God can give you, because what comes from the external is not something that can actually like fit the internal. It may happen that, like for a temporary time, you would actually like, oh, yes, I actually needed to go out more with my girls, and to see, new faces and all these things. Trust and believe that this will probably be a band-aid on a broken leg, because it will not give you full fulfillment about what is truly missing. And it's truly a misalignment of spirit, soul, and body. And if you have this revelation, and if you take the necessary action to really, like be aligned this time in regard to your spirit, soul, and body, this is truly when you actually will see yourself fulfilled, elevated, in a place of knowledge, understanding, and revelation and wisdom. And you will truly transcend from where you are right now to who you actually want to be. And this is truly the beauty of everything. So usually high achievers, women, misinterpret burnout, I believe, because even when I coach my ladies in my coaching program, we instantly like think that burnout is just like we're doing too much. And it's true, but it's not only that. We can also experience spiritual burnout. And I do believe that most of the burnout are spiritual, because when we are actually doing too much, this is when we are disconnected from God, because God never asked us to do too much. God asks us to be more rather than do more. So most of the burnouts come from a misalignment from the body, the spirit, and the soul. And the reason being is because we are not in an alignment with God. And high achieving women, especially working moms, or moms with so many responsibilities at work or even at home, carry immense amount of many immense amount of responsibilities, but also like they interpret burnout as laziness, lack of discipline, weakness, personal failure, not being enough. And because sometimes we feel guilty of not giving more than we can, because we empty our own source, right? Burnout is truly when we feel empty. But again, like I said, it's much more spiritual than anything else because we have forgotten that our source, sorry, should be God. The source that we need to pull from should be God and not ourselves. Okay. So the thing is like we are trying to basically pull something out from ourselves, but ourself is already empty. So we are feeling sometimes guilty because we think, or even weak because we think that wish I can pull out more, but I can't because you are empty. So it's very difficult, but I'm gonna tell you later on how you can actually like shift all this and make sure that it will never happen again. Okay. And make sure that I will never run dry. This is the main thing. The main thing is to never run dry. That whatever you do, you will always have something to pull from because your source is just limitless. Okay. So going back to what I was saying, so why do we feel this way? Because high achievers, the female leaders that we are, the mom entrepreneurs, the moms, who are actually like wearing so many hats at home, at work, in their business, push through pain, perform to feel valued, serve everyone else first before themselves, avoid disappointing overs, overfunction even when they are actually feel depleted, and burnout to them feel like an attack, an attack on their identity. Okay. But spiritually, it is actually the opposite. I'm here to tell you that even myself, I thought, you know what? No, I want to do more. And I remember like I felt so frustrated because I wanted to be more present for my clients when I was a business coach. I wanted to do more, constantly more, even in my job, because my job was very demanding, but I love my job so much in digital marketing. I was in digital marketing before, and I love the company I work for, like great company. And I wanted to do more, but I couldn't because also I felt so much limited, in terms not only in regards to my capabilities, physical capabilities, mental capabilities also. And I felt like I can't. And this is sometimes the kind of emotion we are going through. Like, I wish I can, but I can't, right? And you just feel like you feel the pain because you want to push through, but you can't. And this is unfortunately sometimes that make us feel guilty as, high achievers women. But I'm here to tell you that there's nothing to be, worry about or to be feel guilty about because burnout is actually an invitation. Burnout is truly an invitation to slow down, to breathe, to surrender, okay, to return to your source, who is God, to realign with purpose. And I'm smiling because to return to God is truly what I experienced myself. And this is when my spiritual journey really started in 2023. And I have many videos where I talk about my spiritual journey, where I truly like share like that was the beginning of the rebirth for myself. And in all level, truly all level, knowing who is God so I can know myself in a very deeper level. And I share many times that I've been a Christian since the age of 8, but truly 2023 this is when I just like reborn. And I would say it was progressive because maybe that's gonna be for another video, but it's been like it was progressive, like you obviously grew in stature and in wisdom and in faith, throughout your entire spiritual journey. And you grow also in regards to your consciousness, in regards to your awareness. Today, I know things that I didn't know a year prior or even 6 months before or like a year prior. It's just like the growth is constant. And this is what I like about spiritual journey. It's constant all the time. So burnout is truly an invitation, and these invitations come from God. Like I remember what is this? It just came out into my mind. There's this parable. I think it's the parable of the wedding banquet, when God is basically sending an invitation to every single one. Remember this scripture? I mean, not scripture. This parable, and everyone is busy. some say, well, no, I have a marriage to attend to, I have a wedding to attend to, I have my business to do, I have to do this. And this is an invitation. Everyone is so busy at doing not what God has called them to do. Everyone is so busy in doing the thing that do not serve them, but instead control them, not knowing that these things are controlling them, right? And consciously or unconsciously, we don't even realize that the things that we are not supposed to do are controlling us, right? And this is why we ended up in a place of being burnout. We are truly like experiencing burnout because we don't realize that these things do not serve us at all. And this is why, like in this parable, the wedding banquet parable, this invitation is sent by God for them to attend the wedding banquet. But we don't even know that, like the wedding banquet is actually their marriage with Christ and themselves. So God is actually inviting them, inviting us to our own wedding. But we are too busy, right? We are too busy launching our new business, going for a job, a new job, or staying in our job that do not serve us anymore, that we outgrown, but we are like, no, 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 I want to stay where I am. Or, like basically being with the wrong partner, being with the wrong person, being with the wrong friends, doing the thing that, we kept doing because this is the only thing that we know. But the thing is, like I said, like consciously, unconsciously, we don't even realize that this is not something that God wants for us. So burnout is actually a positive point. Burnout is a very good season where God is actually sending you an invitation and saying, you need to slow down. You need to brave now. You need to surrender. I want you to be actually where I want you to be. I'm removing you from where you are right now, a place of being tired, of being burdened, of being in a place of being unfulfilled, unsatisfied with yourself, of misalignment, of inconsistency, of uncertainty, of fear, of worry, of doubts, all the things that do not serve you and do not reflect my image. I want you to move from this place and be moved to the place I want you to be. So this invitation is so special, and this invitation is honestly your invitation to rebirth, your invitation to basically die, first of all, and rebirth, resurrect as Jesus resurrected. I don't want to really like share too much, but this is exactly the work of the cross. The work on the cross of Christ was for him to carry all these curses, right? The curses represent everything that do not serve you, everything that is actually against the image of God. Curse is actually when you actually now experience this and living through not expressing the image of God. Okay. So God is basically sending you the invitation of, I have more for you. Burnout is a great phase because it is the doorway for you to actually be birthed again. If you never experience burnout, and I'm not saying only burnout, but if you never experience like a season where of brokenness, of darkness, of being burnout, of being unfulfilled, being in a place where you have enough, I truly believe that there is not yet the invitation, because the invitation will be brutal. The invitation of God will be brutal. When we are rebirthing ourselves, we need to experience something that will break us. This is how God's work. The reason why Christ, was representing in the Bible on the cross is basically to say, I am breaking you. The reason why even the Bible say like, it pleased God to break him. No, not break him. It pleased God to bruise him. God, you are taking, like having enjoyment seeing your son, your only son, being bruised. Why? Because God is here to basically bruise you to the max. So then you feel like the only solution can only be God. Only God can save me from where I am right now. Not my boss, not a new job, not a new vacay, not a new partner, not my mom, not my dad, not even myself. Only God can actually move you from this place of being broken. So in the book of Matthew, chapter 11:28, it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." In so many videos that I've done on TikTok, I said, you have to be in a place of being burdened before you can actually receive rest. There is no way you can actually receive rest if you already are in a restful place, right? So this is how God's work. God's work in a place where you need something. You are desiring something. If you are weary and burdened, your only desire is to actually have rest, right? So intentionally, God will put you in a place of what? Being weary and burdened. Because if it's only when you are weary and burdened that you can actually like now receive rest, okay? And the rest is in Christ, and Christ is in God, okay? So it's very important to know that, because sometimes we think that there's something that I miss. No, 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 no. This is the path of life. This is the path that God's basically like settle for you to go through a place of being burdened and weary, so then you can actually like understand and receive rest. So God rhythm of rest versus our rhythm of hustle. And this is important to understand, because sometimes, you know, we don't have the understanding. I did not have this understanding myself. So in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 3, it reads, "So God rested first before humans began working." So God model rest, right? God rested first before even humans begins working. The main thing is like he blessed the seventh day and he made it holy. Holy means that basically not only you represent the full image of God, that is actually like an image of being at rest, being and not doing. Okay, being holy is basically being. We are human being, we are not human doing. So the the principle of being holy is like he said, I am holy, be holy. Meaning like I am basically, I am not doing. I am holy. I am representing my full image. So be as I am. The I own when Jesus said, I only do what my father do, this is what it's all about. I can only be the image, I can only be the reflection, the glory of God when I am like God. If I'm constantly doing things like I used to do, I used to like, you know what, I need to, you know, like prepare this meeting, make this project, doing 10,000 things, having 10,000 things on the to-do list. Now you are disconnecting yourself because you are not basically remaining in the image of God. And when we are basically not in alignment with God's image, we are in misalignment. And misalignment is when we are basically separating our ways with God or from God. So the thing is like you have to remember that God wants to give you rest because you do not have rest yet. And rest comes from a place of holiness. Okay. So to show us that the reason why basically we are experiencing this is because rest is not a reward for finished work, right? Rest is the foundation for meaningful work. The reason why basically God did all that, you know, this on the 6 days, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6 days, he created, you know, the heaven and the earth. And then the seventh day, it basically rested. Seven represents basically the number of perfection, right? And eight represent eight basically is the number of rebirth, of abundance also, but of new beginning. So when you finish the seven, when is everything is perfect, when you're like, you know what, everything is good, right? Everything is good. Everything I've done it with purpose, mentally and spiritually. So naturally, it will come what to flourishing physically, right? So eight, sorry, number eight is the number of abundance, but it's also the number of rebirth, a new beginning, right? So when we are a number eight, because number eight is basically there is no end. You can constantly do this. It will never end. Is when the end meets the beginning, right? So That's why Christ is called the Alpha and the Omega, where the end meets the beginning. So, so when God is giving us rest, it means that basically you are now in a place of certainty, in a place of being, in a place of resting on God, in a place of no longer pull from your own source, but instead you are in a place of remaining and being and pulling from God. Okay. But for many women, basically, is like living in reverse. They work endlessly, hoping to earn rest. This is not how it works. You need to be first in a place of rest. So then you can have more. Let me tell you something. I learned that and I never go back to my old ways. I never go back to my old ways because I'm like, how? And this is something that also triggered me like many times. And this is also what one reason why I also like really had this desire to know God because I was like, how come I'm like going crazy all the time, doing 10,000 things, and I'm calling myself a daughter of the Most High, a child of God? If I am a child of God, how come can I be in a place of like constantly doing 10,000 things? No, I should be at rest. Like the Bible say, I should be at rest, right? I should not carry the burden of the things of this world because these things do not serve me, but instead control me. And we don't understand that because we think, oh, but no, but I love my job or I love my business or it's not about you loving or not your business. Is that the business is actually something that now you carry, that if now you stop doing what you do, are you going to be still fulfilled? If you stop doing, what you are currently doing, going to your job, is this job is your only source of income? Because it's not the job that is just the source of income. The source of income is yourself, meaning like God within you. So that's why it's very important to not focusing on the do, because if one thing happened in your life and the do is canceled, what is left for you to actually like do? The only thing that is left to do is for you to be. But as long as you remain in the place of being, you will never run dry. So God's rhythm is actually to rest equal identity, identity equal assignment, and assignment equal productivity. Okay. So we have first to start from a place of rest. And I will share with you how, not in this video, probably in the second one, but I will share with you how. Okay. So that's going to be in part two. But rest, define your identity because rest is Christ, right? Rest is your level of consciousness, who is Christ. And rest, when you are at rest, meaning that you are basically one with God. The reason why we are also experiencing burnout and we are disconnected with God, and this is what I explain in my community. I just started a new community specifically for female leaders in business, but also in the corporate world who truly like tired of what they are currently doing. They don't feel fulfilled. They feel like, there's something missing in their life. They want to find purpose. They want to find their true identity so they can live a life that is fulfilling, a life at rest, a life that is actually like a life that has been written for them already by God. So this community is already live. I just actually like made it live like I think yesterday. So go and check my community if you want to be a part of it. The link is below this video, and I'm so excited for this community because it's just like is is me, is my work. And I took the time to really create this community the way I wanted. And I'm very excited about this project. It's not even a project, it's already done. But you joining the community will make this project even greater, this community even greater. So it's specifically for women. So if you are a man, maybe sometimes I would probably create another community for everyone, men and women, but this one is specifically for female leaders. If you are a mom entrepreneur, an entrepreneur, if you are a female leader in a corporate world, a manager, mid-senior level, role in your job, uh, go and check. And if you are tired of like feeling unfulfilled, empty, and you know you have the potential for more, you don't know how, this community is for you. It's called TILA, and it stands for Turn Your Life Around. And yes, the link is below this video. But going back to the presentation, so as I was saying, you need to start from a place of being at rest. Okay. The only way you can actually find your identity is when you cut loose of everything. And this, like another example of the Bible, another example. There's so many examples in the Bible, and this example is when, if you're familiar with the Bible and the beginning of the New Testament, when Jesus came to Peter and Peter was trying to fish, all night, and he didn't catch, if they didn't catch anything, they didn't catch any fish, right? But Jesus came to Peter and said, okay, you need to cast down your net on the right side of the boat, right? And then you will be able to fish. And before you know it, the net was full of fish, and there's so many fishes that the net almost broke down, right? So what does it mean? Peter was not at rest. Peter was constantly fishing night, night, night. He couldn't catch anything. He was tired, right? He was not at rest. But Jesus came and just give him the 1 billion formula in regards to how to actually like catch fishes. And he managed actually to catch something, more than something. He managed actually to catch many, 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 many fish. And the thing is like, despite that, Peter received the 1 billion formula from Jesus, right? He received the 1 billion formula from Jesus. What happened is, like they drop everything. They drop everything. They drop the net and they follow Christ. So what does it mean? Like this passage of the Bible really like share that you need to be at rest. They could have continued basically like trying to catch even more fish or even like go back to their business the next day. But they're like, there is no way we can go back to what we used to do. There is no way that we need to stay in the thing that do not serve us, right? We probably have received the 1 billion formula to be billionaire in the fishing industry, but they sense through their spirit that what Christ can offer them is way better, bigger, and stronger than anything else. Okay. So, what I'm here to tell you is like, God wants you to be at rest. So it's only when you are at rest then you can find your identity, your assignment, your purpose, and be productive, in the way God wants you to be productive. Our modern rhythm is much more like productivity, being exhausted, breakdown, collapse, forced rest, right? And this is when we just realize, oh, you know what? I need a vacation. I need to rest. I need to, like take some day off. I need to just shut down my business for a moment because I'm tired. You see, we put rest at the end, but God put rest at the first front row of our life, right? He wants to make sure that you actually start from a place of rest, because it's only when you're at rest that you can basically blossom, that you can rebirth, that you can become the person that God has called you to be. So burnout is what happens when we violate divine rhythm. And this is powerful because, and this is deep divine revelation, because sometimes we actually like put rest as a last resort. That is not something that we should actually like put first, because we think that we know otherwise, or we basically pull ourselves too much in the things that do not serve us anymore. The reason why, again, I say that we are burnout is because we are misaligned. Okay. We are misaligned based on the image of God. God was not busy when he was actually creating the heaven and earth, right? Everything if he said at the end was like, it is good. Everything, it is good. Okay. It is good. It is good. It is good. So by basically like creating the heaven and the earth, it was fulfilling purpose. because every single creation has been done intentionally and obviously with purpose. So from the first to the sixth day, everything that God has created was with purpose. Okay. So burnout is definitely misalignment. And burnout, like I said, is a good thing. We should not see burnout as a bad thing. We should not see burnout as, sorry, we should not see burnout as the thing that we should not basically be ashamed of. No. So it often means that we are saying yes where God say no, right? Carrying things God didn't assign us to carry. This is what burnouts can actually be. Hustling for worth instead of receiving identity, and doing instead of being. Again, like this is what I'm saying. Like we are focusing on the doing because we think the doing is basically birthing the having. Yes, it does. But the thing is, to what extent? You will actually like exhaust yourself from Monday to Friday, you know, repeating the same thing, because let's be honest, what we do at job is most of the time we repeat the same thing, the same meeting, the same conversation, the same task, like not, no. Doing business is kind of different in a sense, but it can also be very repetitive, right? And you can do something repetitive. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but if it doesn't give you fulfillment, this is when you are emptying yourself day after day after day after day after day, striving instead of resting in Him, you know? And this is very dangerous because by striving, what we actually do is we put ourselves before God. And we have to remember that there is no other God. The Bible says there is no other God. That if we now put ourselves before God, we are considering ourselves as another God, when it's not supposed to be the case, because we are God ourselves. Burnout is not a punishment, it is a holy interruption. And this is truly what, we should actually focus on, because we should not see burnout as something that is bad. Burnout as a sign of operating outside of divine calling. This is, like I was mentioning earlier, it's a misalignment. Think of burnout as your soul dashboard. When you feel burnout, when you feel like, you feel disconnected, when you feel like, you have enough, it's basically the soul telling you, it's just flashing. Like, I need I need replenishment. I need you. I need to be filled again. I need to be full. I need to be filled. I need to like, just like a car signal low fuel, like I said, or overeating, burnout signal is like the dashboard. Like on the soul dashboard that will tell you you are out of alignment, you are out of functioning, you are under nurtured, you are disconnected spiritually, you are dry spiritually, right? Your work and purpose are misaligned. And burnout truly birth desire. I remember when I felt burnout and unfulfilled, completely unfulfilled. Even though I say I like what I used to do, I felt like, I had something that I didn't accomplish yet, and I don't think that could be another job. I don't think I can find this fulfillment in a new vacation. I don't think I can find this fulfillment in, even being with someone else. I don't think I can actually find this fulfillment in something external, something from the world. Impossible. You can only feel complete 100% by finding who you are within yourself. Nothing from the external world can actually complete you. If you feel this way, you are broken, because the world has everything to offer you, but what the world is offering is absolutely nothing, because you already have everything within. You don't actually have divine revelation to know what you are currently missing. That's all. So this burnout that you are probably experiencing right now, or you're about to experience, or you feel you are experiencing, is basically your soul telling you, I need to be filled. There's something missing, and this something missing can only be from within. It can only come from within. So consider this indicator. You used to love your work, and that was me. I used to love my work. I used to really like the company, and everything was great. But now, there's like this emptiness that's just like take place within yourself. You're excellent at what you do, but it does not longer fulfill you. Your job does not longer fulfill you. That was me. You feel like you're meant for more than the life you are living. That was definitely me. And you are doing a lot, but none of it feel meaningful. You are giving yourself. You're giving yourself at work, you're giving yourself at home, you're giving at self, even if you are running a business, but you're just like, I don't know, like I've kind of follow all the strategies that people are telling online to follow, but there's still something. Even though I may have the money, I may have the car, I may have the house, I may have the partner, I may have, the circle of friends, I may have, the vacation, you are feeling empty within. And you can't really pin down like what is it, right? Because you exhausted everything that can come from the outside world. Not you even considering that actually, I never took the time to look at within myself. I never took the time to even like ask myself the question, like, am I actually being created to do all these things? What is the reason of my creation? And truly, what I share that with you because this is the question I ask myself. When I was asking this question, I was asking this question to God, to be honest. And God's, progressively give me guidance. God gave me answers. He responded according to the capacity that I had within. Progressively, the capacity that I remove basically everything that do not serve me. And in exchange, God gave me so much and keep giving me so much until today. So, yes, this is something that we need to really pay attention. Okay. So, these are not failure, like I said, these are sign of divine redirection. God whispers, in your ears through discomfort that there's so much more. It could be also like burnout in your love relationship. You burn out, you have enough. So you are just like, like you feel like you don't even think. Sometimes, like we think that, we are no longer compatible or we don't have the same feeling that we used to have with our partner. And we feel like, what, I think, we just like, we are not a match. But it's much more about God telling you, I have something greater for you. And also like God, like most of the time, and I would say 100% of the time, because God guides our step. God actually put us in a relationship that do not serve us. He knew that at some point we will outgrow the relationship, right? But for the time being, he wants you to remain in this relationship so then you can be broken. Again, as I said, God, like will actually put you in a place of brokenness, of darkness, of feeling empty, worried, fear, for you to basically now move from this state of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness. Okay. So if you are exhausted, weary, frustrated, or unfulfilled, it may be that the grace has lifted because the season has shifted. I love this. That is beautiful. It may be that the grace has lifted because the season has shifted. Okay. You are transitioning, you are transcending, you are truly transcending to a new and higher level of the spirit. And this is God's telling you, I have more for you. Now you have to pay attention and be spiritually sensitive to understand what God is doing in your life, because otherwise you are going to miss the blessing. And trust and believe that, like you will probably miss, the blessing for the next 10 years. When God visited Abraham and Sarah in the Bible, God came to Abraham. Abraham understood, he believed, That's why he's basically representing as a father of faith. But Sarah, on the opposite side, she was laughing. She was like, no, like myself, I'm old. My man is old. Like there's no way we can have a child, right? But God said to her, in a year time, you will be with a child, right? But she's like, she didn't believe. 10 years passed and Isaac came into the picture. 10 years. That's why I say that you have to be very sensitive of what God is doing in your life, because I'm here to tell you that you will repeat the same over and over lesson again and again if you do not basically take the invitation from God. This invitation is a very unique and very special, because it's a special invitation, because it is actually your invitation for you to get to the wedding, your own wedding with Christ, right? So it's very important to really be sensitive spiritually. And otherwise, you were gonna repeat the same thing over again. And that really happened to me because I was like jumping from one job to another, because also like, and that was the reason why, because I felt bored. After a year in a job, I was like, I need to get out of it. I need to find something else. And not knowing at the time that the thing that I was missing was actually for me to find myself within, find the God actually that lives within me. Who is this God that I ignore for so long, right? For decades. And I didn't, like get the blessing earlier, probably because I ignore the signal. I ignore, I didn't also have this understanding and awareness. It's only truly like in 2023 when something come upon me and I just dropped my net like Peter and co, and decided to follow Christ, that everything start to shift, everything start to work in my favor even more. And this is when I started to basically be introduced to God, right? To his fullness. So God let something lose its favor to guide you towards your calling, right? At some point, you will feel excited about this business that you decided to get into. And at some point, you will like, oh, you know what? I think this business is not for me. Like, or you know what? You outgrown the place. You're like, I think I need more than just like being, I don't know, like a hairdresser or a business owner, or like, or have being in this 9 to 5. I think I need more, and this more is basically God whispering in your ears that there's more for you. Okay, but you need to truly like be truly sensitive about it. So emotional extortion equal the body alarm, and spiritual dryness is the soul cry. So the body obviously like express certain type of emotion, and I shared that earlier. It can be exhaustion, it can be being overwhelmed, it can be tired, it can be irritation, right? That is the body telling you I am tired. And when you are spiritually dry, it's because the soul is crying. When I always refer to the Bible because there are so many examples that we can take from the Bible that obviously illustrate what's happening in God's mind and in the man in mankind's mind, right? Because the Bible is a metaphorical and metaphysical book, right? So the spirit is the one that governs the soul, and the soul governs the body. So if the spirit is dormant, the soul will remain dormant, and then the body obviously will remain dormant, because one thing basically governs the other. Okay, so if there is spiritual dryness, the soul will be dry. And this is what I wanted to share, when the when the Israelites were crying to God, by being slave for so many centuries. And they decided to call on God for rescue, for God to come and save us from the end of the Egyptian. It was because their spiritual um, system, or the spiritual realm, was completely dry. It was completely dry. And this is why God decided to actually like send Moses, and Moses was sent. So then Moses, that represented in the Bible as the extension of God, came to basically rescue the Israelite from the Egyptian. Okay. So when you do not basically like feel like any fulfillment in what you do. And when I say fulfillment, it's like strong fulfillment. Like when you are fulfilled, is like even what you are currently doing, you can do it without being paid. Like it's not like some because I used to enjoy my job. I used to enjoy my job, but like I enjoy my job also because the salary was great. But if you remove also this aspect of not being paid and you can do it, like for such an amount of time that you don't care if you are paid or not, you do it just out of your heart, and because it bring you more than what you give. It gives you so much comfort, it gives you so much fulfillment and purpose and passion. And if you can do that without being paid, then that is definitely your purpose, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because sometimes we like something, we love doing these things, this job or this business, but we know that, like if we can't be paid, well, what the point of doing it anyway? Like I like it, but at some point you have to be realistic. But if you do not feel this level of fulfillment that it doesn't matter if you pay me or not, I will do it anyway. That's why I truly believe that, when Peter and co decided to actually like follow Christ and drop everything, despite they were business, owners, and we are like, we don't even know how we're going to pay tax at some point. And that's why, like the taxpayer came at some point and said, we didn't pay tax. And Jesus said, okay, go and get the fish, get the coin from the fish and give that to the taxpayer. They didn't even worry about how am I going to pay my bills? I'm going to pay tax. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because they were certain that it doesn't matter. We are with the Christ. We are with the Messiah. We are with our highest level of consciousness that will provide no matter what, right? No matter what. When God came to Abraham and said, um, look in the sky and look at the stars. What can you see? Many stars. Can you count them? No. Okay, that is basically the number of your descendants, right? But Abraham was like, okay, but you didn't give me a son. And God said, don't you worry. I got you. But God didn't give Abraham the full roadmap of how it's going to be. No, Abraham basically relied on his faith. And he was like, you know what? If God says, so be it. So that is the thing. This is like spiritual dryness is when you actually like your soul is crying because there's a disconnection. You are disconnected from God. And this is exactly what happened with the Israelites. They were disconnected from God. You have to remember that when I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. But when sorry, when the Israelites basically were enslaved by the Egyptian. Before being enslaved, they were living in the best place of Egypt, in Goshen. And they serve a God that Joseph and his brothers were serving, right? They knew God, but more time passed by and more generation come, right? More of a generation come out of of Joseph family of the 12 tribe of Israel. And the thing is like they didn't know God. They didn't have this affinity with God anymore. So there is a disconnection that happened progressively through time. And this is why, these Israelites being enslaved, because trust and believe that if you know who you are in God, there's no way you can be slave of anything. You are on top of everything. The reason why we are slave of our job, of our business, of this world, basically, is because we don't know ourselves. So the thing is, because during the time of them being under the control of Egypt, under the power of the Egyptian, is because they didn't know who they were. They didn't know that they actually used to serve a God that is the Almighty, right? So the spiritual dryness come basically when we are disconnected from God, when our soul is off, life feel off also. Okay, so emotional exhaustion say I'm carrying too much. Mental exhaustion say I'm thinking too much. Spiritual dryness say I'm disconnected from God purpose or alignment. We are not in our destiny anymore. Purpose, exhaustion say, I'm no longer in the place God designed me to flourish. So I am disconnected from God. I am completely disconnected from God. And because we are thinking too much, we are thinking of the thing that we think we should think of. We are thinking because have no clue of where we are going, of how what we are doing. We think we do, but we don't, right? Because the only person who has a roadmap of our life with certainty is the one who created us, and is God. Okay. The reason why we think too much is because we actually like guessing what our life should be, instead of letting the revelation come to us about what life should be. Okay. So, and I'm going to finish really soon. So, your soul was not created to live in misalignment. When we drift from purpose, your body and your heart start signaling, okay, this isn't, this is not it. Something needs to change. I have enough. You are carrying burdens not assigned to you. Okay. The burdens has a purpose because, like I said, you can't actually experience rest if you do not feel the burden, if you do not feel the tiredness, the exhaustion. So the burden actually play a part, play a purpose. However, God doesn't want us to stay in a place of burdenness or experience burdenness any longer. It is time for us to move on. When Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, many women in the Bible were barren. Barrenness means that you can't actually bear good fruit, right? That's why you're barren. But at some point, God has come to Rachel, to Sarah, to Rebecca. This is the frame I actually think of, and also to Mary Elizabeth in the New Testament. But at some point, God will remove this barrenness for you to actually be fruitful, for you to actually be a woman that can actually bear good fruit, that can actually give birth. Okay. So barrenness in the Bible and also obviously in real life serve a purpose as well as burden. Okay. But this is not where we're supposed to be. We should not remain in a place where the ground is barren. No, we should always actually like think like this place of barrenness is temporary, but at some point, God will move me from a place of being fruitful and obviously give birth to our desire, right? This is what it's all about. So I'm finishing. So that's the last scripture. It is? Yes, it is. So in the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 10, give me 1 second. So in the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 10, it says, Yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. So this is exactly what I was mentioning earlier. The reason why that God was pleased for Christ, sorry, to suffer like he suffered, right? Is like I was saying, this place of suffering, this place of being burnout, play a purpose in your life, right? You have to remember that we come from a God that is very intentional and purposeful. So everything that he does is purposeful, is intentional, right? So we should not kind of figure out why should I feel like burden or even feel like I'm going through burnout now. No, because it's meant to be, it was written. That is what was part of our journey. Okay. So the will of God was for you to prosper in his hand, not in your hand, in his hands. Okay. So that is very important. So just to finish now, like I mentioned, and this is, I think, a good exercise for you. Like, if you want to review this video, if you want to rewatch this video, please pay attention to this final part because ask yourself the right question so then you can actually receive the right answer from God. First, spirit, connection with God and purpose. Do I feel spiritually empty? Do I feel disconnected from God? I am praying or just surviving, right? So if you answer this question, honestly, and if you answer this question with all your heart, you will receive the answer. Do you feel spiritually empty? Yes or no? Do I feel disconnected from God? Yes or no? Okay. Am I praying or just surviving? Right. Number two, mind, will, emotion. Am I emotionally overwhelmed? Am I mentally exhausted? Or am I constantly anxious, stressed, or tense? Right. Ask yourself the right question. Is it my emotion is all over the place? Overwhelmed, exhausted, anxious, stressed, tense? I don't know. Like, only you can answer that. Body, am I constantly tired? Do I feel tension, aches, or sleep issues? Am I running on fume? Like, what is your state of mind right now? You know, I think we most of the time check the state of our body, but we don't take the time to do a scanning on our mind, like to just like, okay, slow down, take a deep breath, but also like pause. Like, am I constantly tired? Am I constantly on edge? Am I constantly irritated, feeling overwhelmed? What is the case, right? Number four, purpose, fulfillment, and alignment. Does my work really feel meaningless? Or does it make me feel like, oh, I am like living my life right now? Am I doing what I'm calling to do, or what should I do, or I don't even know? Like, and it's good to not know, because when you are in a place of not knowing, God is here to direct you. Okay. So to basically like just move left, to use the steering wheel to redirect you to where you're supposed to go. Okay. Or do I feel stuck or directionless? Exactly. Do I feel stuck or directionless? What is my purpose right now? What is my purpose? I don't know. That's great. It's good to not know than just like think that you know and take again the wrong route, take the wrong turn. Because you can, again, like I said, instead of coming to a place of stillness and be like, God, I don't know. You are the one who created me. So tell me what I don't know. Give me direction. Give me purpose. You already give me purpose, but give me direction about where am I supposed to find this purpose. Trust and believe that God will give you this direction straight away. If you remain still, if you remain open, if you have this strong desire to know that, God will give it to you. There's nothing that God doesn't give. So burnout is not the end. It's definitely not the end of you. Definitely not. It is truly the beginning of God leading you back to alignment. Burnout is a holy signal. It is God's like just interrupting you. It's like, you know what? This season is over. Now we are moving to the new season. I am doing a new thing. I'm doing a new thing with you. It's not a sign of failure, but a sign of calling. Okay. The Old Testament was the Old Testament. It needed to stop at some point. So then at some point, Jesus will come and will awaken every single person on earth. Okay. So if you are feeling weary, unfulfilled, and disconnected, this is a good thing. It's an amazing thing, because that says that it is my time to be elevated. It is my time to transcend to where God wants me to be. It's a beautiful time. It's the best time. It's a beginning of your rebirth. Don't try to figure it out what your life should be. Don't. Because I think this is what humans do most of the time. And we are thinking that we know, not knowing that we do not know, right? Figure it out was never the plan, because the book of your life is already written. Everything is already written. Now, to know what is the next chapter of your book is basically for you to come back to the creator, to go back to the source, because only the source, who is the Father means source in Hebrew, can actually give you the direction of your life. So that is your soul whispering, daughter, queen, you are meant for more, and I want to lead you there. God is not trying to break you, like break you. He will break you in a way he wants to break you. But when I say break you, it's not like he doesn't want you to like feel and remain broken, right? To a point where you are completely gone. No. He wants to break you so he can put you back together, right? He can put you back together. The reason why Adam and Eve sinned and they were cast out was for a reason, for us to be back again to the Garden of Eden. Okay. We can't ascend if we never descended. Okay. So he's trying to he's trying to realign you, restore you, and reposition you for purpose. And I'm here to tell you that this is the best time of somebody else's life. I think like truly like this, there's nothing, at least in my eyes and in my experience, there's nothing better than that. Because you are not anymore in a place of actually like being ruled by the things of this world, but instead you are basically in a position of being on top of the world, above the world, I would say, and being in a place of dominionship and subdue the earth, right? And truly, this assignment is for you to for the taking because this is your blessing. This is your purpose. This is for you to actually like take over your kingdom, be in a place of authority and power as Christ was, in the Bible, and Christ is still. But it's for you as a person, as a daughter of the Most High, as a queen of your kingdom, to truly like be in a place of like, you know what? I am in the position of power. I am no longer under the control of this world, of this wisdom of this world, but instead I am on top of everything. And in the next video, video number 2 about burnout that I will share with you, I will talk about much more. How can I do that? How can I be in a place of dominionship? How can I be in a place of I am on top of the world. I am in a place of authority. I am in a place of the aim goal of life is actually to be as Christ, to be the Alpha and the Omega, to be above and not below, to be the head and not the tail. When we are the tail and when we are below, it's because we are under the wisdom of this world. We are basically like when I say under, is like we are running our life based on the wisdom of this world. This is not how it used to be. This is not the goal of life, okay? But I will share with you in the next video because it's been quite long already, but I will share with you basically how to actually like regain your place of authority and power. And why do I say even regain, right? But I will share with you this in the second video. This is a series, I think it's going to be a part 3, so please stay tuned. It's been a long one, and I hope you know, like if you truly like stay until now, kudos to you, because honestly, like few people even like dare to just like you know listen to long videos anymore. People, that is called distraction. If you are going through burnout, I'm here to tell you that this series will help you so much. And again, I'm gonna finish by saying that if you want to be in part of my community called Tila Turn Your Life Around, that is specifically for female leaders, in the corporate world, female entrepreneur, mom entrepreneur, who really wants to find purpose, find their identity, through Christ, through Bible principle. This is what I actually do in my community. So it's a new community. I'm so excited for it. So you will have the link below this video. And yes, that's it for this video. I speak to you in the next video. Don't forget to share this video for someone who you think will gain so much value from this video. Like, comment if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer your comment. But yeah, in the meantime, I wish you a lovely day, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.